Alright. You wanna know something funny? I had notes written down for the Philosopher's Stone segment. Because it was a lot. It was a lot I had to remember, which I'm incapable of fucking doing. I just had to talk about the whole movie, basically, and just be like, yeah, this bit's great, this bit's great, in sequence. Because when I was watching it and taking notes, all my notes basically just consist of, this bit's perfect, this bit's perfect, this bit's perfect, because it all is. So it's a lot. And I had to fit that into here somehow, but I don't have the faculties to do so, so I had to write notes for it. I don't need notes for Chamber of Secrets. Chamber of Secrets is actually my least favorite movie, and my least favorite book. No, Chamber of Secrets isn't my least favorite movie. No, that's a lie. The book is, though. The book is my least favorite book. Holy shit, Goblet of Fire's a fucking mess, though. My stomach isn't feeling really good. You know, actually, there was an idea I had earlier. I have a boom arm for this microphone. Like, there's no way for it to get from over there to, like, over here easily. I had it set up so that it clipped onto those drawers there and just hung over me, like, here or something. Well, it just means I don't have to use my hands constantly. But, like, I prefer this way because it's stuffed as fuck. And it means I can control how close So, Chamber of Secrets is my least favorite book, as I've already said. It's not my least favorite movie, only because Goblet of Fire exists. And looks like shit. We're not doing that yet. We'll get there. We're on our way. Don't rush me. This fucking necklace is basically a choker while it's broken. It's kind of broken. My stomach is doing backflips right now. Chamber of Secrets movie... Chamber of Secrets is not a bad adaptation. It does what Philosopher's Stone does. Like, pretty much nearly the same way, actually. Where it will either... if it cuts off something from the book, that's because it wasn't important, or because they can change it and make it, like, more interesting, or make it better suited for a movie audience rather than for, like, a book. But, like, for example, like, Headless Nick's Death Day, that's just removed entirely from the movie. Thank fucking God, because Nick's Death Day is boring as hell, and nothing happens. I think one plot relevant thing happens in it. I think it's like... No, I don't remember. No, I think nothing happens, actually. I think Harry just did it to make Nick feel better, but... It's pointless. I'm glad it's not in the fucking movie. There's nothing technically wrong with Chamber of Secrets, except for the fact that I don't fucking like Chamber of Secrets. It's my least favorite book. So, if you take I don't care, like, it's like if you take a Peppa Pig novel and completely adapt it and make it perfect and make it a perfect, like, one-to-one adaptation from book to movie, I still don't fucking care because it's Peppa Pig. I don't care if Chamber of Secrets to the book to movie is, like, really well done and really well transferred over into another media. I don't like Chamber of Secrets, so I don't care. So I think my bias just lies there. Whereas, it's really weird because I know people who are obsessed with the Chamber of Secrets movie. So... what that tells me is, as a moviegoer, the Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets are basically interchangeable to, like, people who haven't read the books, which is fair, because they're directed by the same guy, and they're done in a very similar way, like, so, it's, yeah, of course, and they have the same level of quality in terms of, like, the effects, and, like, the music, and, like, the way it's shot, and the way it's edited, it's just, like, man, imagine if the entire series continued on with that, instead of going the route it eventually did after, what's Mikey Newman? I think Mikey Newman's the name of the guy who directed Prisoner of Azkaban, and it's like, that was kind of a leap from style, and then, David Yates was just like, let's yeet ourselves off this fucking ride, let's go off into crazy land. Let's make Harry Potter like edgy, dark, and it kind of worked because it kind of worked, I guess. I have a lot of messages on Discord. Yeah, a lot of people are really obsessed with the Chamber of Secrets movie. I think that's because they must see. Most people must see it. Like it must be like sequelitis thing. I might be miscoining this actually, but it's like where you expect the sequel to be better, or like you think that because something was made after the initial thing that they must have learnt from, going from Terminator 1 to Terminator 2 is a different fucking genre, basically. Like, T1 is fine. Like, it's a good enjoy, you know? Like, it's good to just sit down and just experience. But T2 is just an infinitely fucking better film. So it's like, maybe it's that, where like people are like, oh, it's Philosopher's Stone 2, that means it's better. I don't know. But I hate Chamber of Secrets. That's like my problem. I don't know. I just, like, it feels so inconsequential, right? Like, it's really early to it's really early in the series to introduce a threat that is capable of just completely fucking annihilating, like, the entire school. Quirrell, in the first movie, like, getting the stone, it's like, yeah, that would end. Yeah, Voldemort coming back to power with the Philosopher's Stone. Yeah, like, yeah, that's it. That's the end of the Wizarding World, because then not only does he have the Horcruxes, he has the fucking Alexa, and there's no time to get all the Horcruxes, and they're all out there somewhere. So it's like, that is a very large-scale threat. But I mean, like, Quirrell never had a chance of getting the stone in the first place, because I didn't mention that in my Philosopher's Stone review. Harry had no reason to go down to protect the stone from, well, he thought it was Snape. He didn't know that. But if Harry had never gone down to the mirror with Quirrell, nothing would have happened. Like, Quirrell wouldn't have been able to get the stone, because it's like, no, you need to want it but not use it, you know, to protect it. That's the only way you can get it out of the mirror. Quirrell stared at that fucking mirror for like 10 hours trying to figure out how to get the stone out, and he couldn't. Because Harry didn't need to go down and get the stone. Like, you know? Like, so, really, there was no fucking threat. You can't even be like, oh, but what if Quirrell did get this? He didn't. He couldn't. How? He can't. Like, it's stuck. It's gone. It's fucking trapped behind the admin block, you know? You need console commands to get it out of there, Quirrell. You ain't getting shit. So I don't count Philosopher's Stone as having any like sizable threat. Like, outside the unicorns, Voldemort's not doing anything. He can't get the stone out. He's too weak. Like, there's no threat. And then immediately, like, Chamber of Secrets, it's like, oh, every fucking kid in this school can just, well, not all of them, but most of the kids in the school should just die. Can just be killed, but just by looking at them. So the stakes went from Saturday morning cartoon puzzle gauntlet that ends with a mirror where I don't even fight the dude. I literally touch him and he disintegrates, and there was literally zero chance of him ever getting the thing that he actually wants. So we go from that to big boy snake monster that will murder everybody, and it's like, why did the stakes jump so high? It really pulls me out of it. I have more messages on Discord. I already don't like the basilisk. I don't like it being the second one, but here's the thing, like, none of the other movies could really fit in to where Chamber of Secrets is. Chamber of Secrets is weird because it's like, we need to extend. There needs to be a year 2, basically. There needs to be 7 years of this. Okay, well, what happens in each one? So it's like, you've got the first one, which is Philosopher's Stone's job is like introduction to magic, introduction to the world, introduction to possible stakes, introduction to threats, like direct face-to-face meeting the threat, Voldemort, you know, all that, and ways of dealing with him, and ways he can come back, and that you have friends and shit. It's like, it's a soft cushion landing. That's what it's meant to be. It's a start. It's like, hey, you're welcome. Here's the world. This is the kiddie corner. Have fun, which is kind of a compliment to Philosopher's Stone because it does it really well. You need something in between there and Prisoner of Azkaban, because Prisoner of Azkaban is just straight up, you have a father now, basically. A father figure in your life. You have a godfather now. and this is the man responsible for your parent. Like, that's heavy shit. Like, he needs, you need, like, you can't just land and then run, you know, like I said before, like, Quirrell versus Harry didn't end with a laser duel, it ended with him just touching him, because Harry's not good at fighting yet, and it's the same in Chamber of Secrets. He doesn't beat the Basilisk by, like, shooting it with a laser, he stabs it really badly with a sword. He did a great job in the battle, but, like, that's him, like, learning. Like, you can't just have him suddenly be competent fighter, and that's what, and then by the time Prisoner of Azkaban happens, he's like basically out for blood, wanting to kill Peter, or Sirius at the time, and also the revelation of, like, you have a godfather. It's like, it's got to weigh down, it's got to have some weight, but it's also got to come at a time where, like, he is mature enough to understand what that means, basically, and he's reached that, okay? And then you have Goblet of Fire, which is like, the threat has returned, there's a grand tournament threat has returned thing, and Goblet of Fire is technically where the series, like, where the prologue ends, because then Voldemort's back, and then from that point onwards, it's just like, you're an adult now, you're ready, you're not ready yet. No, I mean, that's what Order of the Phoenix is about. You're not ready, not yet. Like, war's happening, you are nothing right now. And then Harry loses. Yeah, I'll count Order of the Phoenix as a loss. Harry loses, and then Half-Blood Prince is like, we need to be fucking, we need to actually think about this. We need to be ready. And then Dumbledore dies, and it's like, we need to be ready. And then Deathly Hallows, and then they're an adult, and they do their own thing. So I think it's important to have a buffer between Philosopher's Stone and Prisoner of Azkaban. Did it have to be Chamber of Secrets? Probably not. But it doesn't really matter what's there either. All of my problems with Chamber of Secrets basically stem from me, personally, just not liking the direction it takes. But at the same time, being completely okay with where it sits in the series. If the Basilisk plot and the Chamber of Secrets plot was anywhere else in the series, it would fucking ruin it. Oh man, like, it would actually be a Saturday morning cartoon if it was in, like, year 4 or something, you know? Like, it's like, oh, big scary evil monster that wants to eat all the people with the dirty blood in them. Ooh, it's like, what the fuck? Like, no, that deserves to be, like, a kiddie villain. So, like, I have a problem with Chamber of Secrets on a conceptual level, along with, like, the whole monster and the stake thing. And just where it is in the universe. I also hate that it's the longest fucking... I actually hit my nerve there when I did that. It's the longest fucking movie in the franchise. Well, in the main series. I haven't complained about length yet, but, like... Hang on, where is it? Give me a second. Right. So, like, this is my box set for my Harry Potter discs, and it... Yeah, Goblet of Fire is a longer movie than Order of the Phoenix. I'm not gonna pull down my copy of Order of the Phoenix for you, but if you're not a Potterhead, you don't know. Order of the Phoenix is a big boy novel. The entire collective works of Tolkien. Like, I have the one big book of Lord of the Rings, which is all 3 of the books in one, basically. That book is 1,080 pages. It's big. It's huge. That's 3 books. That's 3 Tolkien books. That is 3 Lord of the Rings books. Big books in one, and it's 1,080 odd pages. Order of the Phoenix is like 860 pages. That's one book. Order of the Phoenix is huge. Goblet of Fire is like almost as big. I think Goblet of Fire is like 600 or something pages. They're all huge after Prisoner of Azkaban. But Goblet of Fire is a longer movie than Order of the Phoenix. You know why? Because Order of the Phoenix, like, cut, like, 3/4 of the fucking novel from even consideration into the movie. I'll complain about that when we get to it. But still complaining about length. So why would they do Order of the Phoenix completely dirty and cut it up, right? And not do it any justice, and not do it the first 2 movies do, where it's like, oh, did we remove something? We'll change it, or we'll add something that does the same. It does the same thing. It just does it in a different way. And they said, fuck that. How about we just get rid of parts of the story? How about... What's a secret keeper? How about fuck that? How about fuck talking about like Harry and Sirius's relationship? How about fuck Ginny and Harry's relationship? How about fuck just fuck off like most of this shit? Let's just fuck it off, right? The maze in Goblet of Fire, like, you know how like in the books it's like there's a sphinx and there's a giant spider and there's a bog. But fuck that off. How about we just make it a big hedge maze that has wind? And sometimes vines come out and attack you. Just fuck that off. Let's just get rid of shit. Let's just get rid of core concepts of the fucking story that is anchored in the story. Let's get rid of secret keepers. Fuck that. Who needs that? The whole plot of the story, the reason and way that Peter Pettigrew was able to betray Lily and James. Fuck that. I'm so tired. They looked at Order of the Phoenix and they went, Let's butcher that. And they looked at Goblet of Fire and they went, let's really butcher that. But with Chamber of Secrets, they went, well, I know why it's a different director, but they went, let's do it entirely faithfully. Let's make it take like over 2 hours to fucking be a runtime. Let's make it over 2 hours long. Let's make the one I don't like the most the longest movie. Fantastic. Thanks, man. That was a nasty shit. Oh, give me a fucking second. Oh, okay. I just shat my body weight. I think I'm blind. That's probably why I had these glasses on. I was talking about Chamber of Secrets. Yeah, I was complaining about its length because it's the longest movie in the series. It's the longest movie in the series. And hang on. I want it to be kept in mind, right, that Chamber of Secrets is longer than Order of the Phoenix. This is Chamber of Secrets. See how thin that is? This is Order of the Phoenix. This is a longer movie than this. This huge fucking thing. Why? You know what I bet it is? I bet what was going on was because, again, Chris Columbus, I think, made the first two. Yeah, he did. What I think happened was because Philosopher's Stone is basically it's Philosopher's Stone's perfect and perfectly adapts the book. Chamber of Secrets, it does the same thing, but to a less perfect degree, and that's not my bias. That's because it misses out on. There's a lot more things changed from the book, probably because the book sucked, but that's just my opinion. So maybe the goal, you know, while Chris O'Boy fought, like, if he were to do like the next few movies, if he would have done Prisoner of Azkaban, he probably would have kept Secret Keepers in. Prisoner of Azkaban would probably be like 2 hours long. Because they're all about this. Because the first three books are about the same size. And then Goblet of Fire probably would have been like a 3-hour film. If he made it. And then Order of the Phoenix would be like 3.5 or 3. It'd probably be... If you wanted to do everything, it'd have to be like 3.5. But like 3 more than likely. And then it doesn't matter about the last few. Because the last few are like way smaller than... Order of the Phoenix is massive. I will say I like the dueling in Chamber of Secrets. I specifically like Snape versus Lockhart. That is always a treat. Oh, Lockhart! Fuck. Yeah, Lockhart's pretty fucking good, actually. It's really easy to tell, like, super early on, when Lockhart's introduced, that, you're not meant to trust him. It's super obvious that he's lying. Like, he's some gas bag who just, like, thinks he's great. Like, and he's written all these books, but you can just tell from how he carries himself that he's a jackass. I like Lockhart because he's not a red herring. Well, he is a villain. No, he's not a villain. He's just an asshole. No, you know what? Actually, no. What he does to people with his memory charms. No, that's evil. No, actually, no. Lockhart's a villain. No, he is a red herring then because you think he's just a useless idiot, not like cruel. And then you find out, oh no, you're pure evil. Okay, well, alright then. Lockhart's good. I really, really love Jason Isaacs' acting as Lucius Malfoy. No, I don't like Lucius Malfoy. Lucius Malfoy is a cuck and a beta male and a bitch, and all he does is bend the knee to Voldemort, and all he does is be pathetic as fuck when Voldemort returns. And then before that, he's like a threat, or kind of. No, he's a threat and he's intimidating, right? And then Voldemort is in the picture, and suddenly he's a pile of pasta. I think most of my love for doesn't stem for the character, it stems from the actor. Jason Isaacs is fucking, he's a great actor. I watched we watched Hook, the Peter Pan film that with Ron Williams in it, a bit ago. Still a fucking amazing film, Hook. And then we watched the 2003 Peter Pan movie, which had Jason Isaacs in it. That movie sucks, but Jason Isaacs is still fucking incredible in that movie. I love his acting. He's great, and he does great Lucius. Him and Tom Felton, when they're bouncing off each other, that's the best shit. That's really good. And when he's bouncing off like Arthur, I don't know the actor's name. Sorry, when he's bouncing off Arthur Weasley, and like. And the children too. He's amazing. He's amazing. I fucking I love Jason. I actually, the more I think about it, the more I think I'm converting myself to like Chamber of Secrets.
Incorrect.
You know, it might be because I read the book recently and I still really don't like. Oh shit! I think I like the Chamber of Secrets movie. There's the bit they cut out with when Harry was flu powdered into Borgin and Burke's. There's the bit they cut out with Tom Felton and Jason where they're going through Borgin and Burke's just examining stuff, and then Tom, I tell this story all the time, and then Tom like reaches for something in character, and then Jason whacks him with the cane, and he's like, "Don't touch anything, Draco." And it turns out that and he had like tears welling up in his eyes, and he looked at me, he's like, "Yes, father," and he kept doing the scene basically, and then it turns out afterwards that like the snake fangs in Jason's cane actually like bit into Tom's skin and like hurt him genuinely, and like that pain was real. And he's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." I love him. I still hate Hermione. I hate Emma Watson. I love Hermione. Book Hermione is such a great character. It's completely different from how she's portrayed by Emma Watson. It has nothing to do with like the details of the character, because those are basically right. It's how they're delivered and portrayed that make it bad. Like Hermione is like an insufferable know-it-all, but when movie Hermione does it, you're expected to just suck it the fuck up, and that she's perfect, and that she can't do anything wrong, and she's the best magic user ever. She never makes a mistake. Steals can't ever play his fucking lines. I will get to that! You sent this to me like twice, dude. What? It's just porn, dude. Oh yeah, the reason I started complaining about Hermione is because she runs up to Harry and she's like, "Oh my god, your glasses! Rip Harrow!" Even though I'm pretty sure she can't use magic because of the trace. Although I do remember something about the trace being really unreliable if there's a lot of magic nearby, which Diagon Alley is full of. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. It's still fucking really annoying. I forgot when Ron comes into it. Do I need to put on Chamber of Secrets? I genuinely think a lot of my hate for the movie might be confused with my thoughts of the book, because I read that like super recently. Because I'm remembering the start of Chamber of Secrets is really fucking good, actually, because you get to see Harry in like his new room that he basically extorted out of Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia. You see the state of living Hedwig is forced to live in. Vernon's stupid drill company is like got like these investors coming or whatever for a dinner, so it's like, okay, whatever, it's a setting for like a catastrophe to happen, and the birds being loud or whatever the fuck. And then Dobby comes along and ruins it all because he wants to protect Harry, because if Harry doesn't go to Hogwarts then the basilisk won't kill him, which is true because Harry's a half-blood. I don't like I don't like that Dobby is okay with other children dying. Like, I get I get that Harry's like the chosen one, but literally no one fucking knows that at this point. That's not a thing yet. The only reason I can think of for Dobby just being perfectly okay with like mountains of children dying is as long as my celebrity boyfriend crush doesn't die too. That's, if it had the context of like Harry Potter is the chosen one, he is the one meant to kill Voldemort, because that's the prophecy and all that. Harry Potter must stay home, he must live because Harry Potter must kill Voldemort. And it's like, yeah, that makes sense. But like, without that context, it's just, I don't want my Harry Potter to die. It's a limited edition. He has to stay. All the rest of the kids can die though. And then when Dobby ruins everything, and then Vernon puts the bars on the windows and the doors, which is child abuse, but I mean, like, is that really fucking new for the Dursleys? So basically just meant you can't go back to school ever, and it's like, the important thing is that it's believable that Vernon would do that. Which it is. It's not hard. But it doesn't matter, because in the end, the best bit is when the Weasleys come in with the fucking flying Fort Angelina and tear the bars off and then whisk Harry away to the Burrow. That's great. I don't know why Harry doesn't just fucking stay there every year when he can't. Well, he can't really, because he can pull his own weight. He's got money. But anyway, he can pay bills. Are there bills? Do you need to pay water when you're a wizard, or can you just make water? You don't need to pay electricity. Is there a magic tax? They don't have plumbing. No, they have sinks. They have plumbing. Do I pay for water? Do you pay rent when you're a wizard? I imagine you can just, if you really want, you can just make your own fucking house with magic. Who the fuck am I paying rent to? I made it. But that's stupid. That's like being like, oh, why is your family poor? You can't afford food. There might be like wizard construction workers and such that you then buy a house off of. I don't think they'd be renting in the wizarding world. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm so focused on this either. I'm still thinking about that water bill thing, man. Yeah, and then Harry gets taken to the Burrow. He gets introduced to his first wizarding household, which is really interesting. The audience does too, actually, so that's always good. And it's Weasley House is actually really fucking good. I think another factor for me not liking the film is the movies try... No, they don't actually. I'm not gonna give them that fucking credit. The movies pretend to try to make you give a shit about Ginny, and Ginny's kind of like... She's just like a central plot point of this film. So it matters a lot that they get it right, and they do. She's not like a love interest yet. It's just like Harry being like, I need to save my best friend's sister. She's in danger. Maybe he does like her. I don't fucking know. He probably says something about her in Chamber of Secrets, but I just remember that bit where they're at the table, and then Ginny sees him, and he's like, hello, and then she runs off. I'm gonna fucking vomit. For those of you wondering why I'm clapping my hands like a retarded seal, we now have a second point of view. I don't know what... I know what that adds. I'm trying. This is all new to me. Yeah, the Burrow is beautiful. It's huge, it's intricate. I love that it looks like just a giant mishmash of like other houses and shit. That's really cool. It does look like a poor wizard place, which is mean to say. Sorry Weasleys, but like, I mean, it does look like a place where poor people live, and poor people do live there, so I guess that's not my fault for assuming. Harry immediately fits in with the Weasleys. Molly, in the book, when Harry boards the train, Fred and George, like, help him get his stuff on. I might be misremembering this. Fred and George help him get his stuff on, and then they see the scar on his forehead, and then as the train is leaving, they stick their head out the window to call out to their parents. They're like, "Oi, Mum, you know that scrawny git we just helped get in the barrier? That was Harry Potter." And Molly just wigs the fuck out, and Ginny basically comes on the spot and then passes out. When Harry sees her again in Chamber of Secrets, in Chamber of Secrets, when Harry Potter go to the Chamber of Secrets to kill the giant basilisk, The next time we see her in Chamber of Secrets, Molly basically takes him in as, like, one of her own. Like, Molly's just fully accepted Harry as a child, basically. Because Harry talked a lot about how the Dursleys treated him to Ron, who told Molly, and then Molly was like, oh my god, this is my child now. Which sounds like hyperbole, but Molly genuinely does see Harry as one of her kids, because in the book, when I keep saying I won't, well, I'm not comparing quality of movie anyway. In the books, when, I think in Order of the Phoenix, or maybe Half-Blood Prince, Molly's got to get rid of a boggart in the house, and the boggart turns into the corpses of her fucking children, one of which being Harry. So, if that's not confirmation, I don't know what fucking is. Molly's a saint. I adore her. I don't know your actor's name, but I love you. And you played Molly very fucking well. And Molly loves him, yeah. And it's like, it's all good feelings. It's all, and then Diagon Alley, and then we get into that bit that I was talking about before, where it's like, I forgot when Harry was leaving Borgin and Burke's, when Hagrid finds, what were you doing down there, Hagrid? Me? I was finding flesh-eating slug repellent. Harry Potter and the flesh-eating slug repellent. And then, then they stumble into Gilderoy Lockhart doing his jig. Being a goof. I like him. He's still an arsehole. He's still evil, but I like him. He's a good villain. I like Lucius Malfoy. He's a good villain too. I hate Draco, but you're meant to. Draco is meant to be like a childish bully that is really easy to hate, but really hard to nail down as like actually evil, because children, it's really hard for children to be evil. He's just a pathetic kid. He's a kid. He's not grown up yet. By the end of fucking Draco only ever like actually has full-grown testicles like after the war is over, basically. Anytime before then is basically pre-puberty for him. He's still like Draco Malfoy, the 15-year-old to 17-year-old, is still like a 5-year-old mentally. He's not evil, he's just stupid, and he likes picking on people. That's it. Draco's really simple. After Diagon Alley, it's we gotta catch the train. Let's why don't we wait in the car? And then Ron's like, hey, why don't we just drive to Hogwarts instead of just... Everyone makes that criticism. It's like, why didn't you just wait for Arthur and Molly? And I think it's explained that they thought that the barrier was locked on both sides. I think even then, like, missing the train isn't like the worst case scenario, because like people come and go like all the time, and I don't mean by apparition, I just mean like genuinely, you know, like Lucius just pops by every now and then. It's not impossible to get back to Hogwarts. I'm sure if he just waited, if they waited the car, everyone's had this argument, we all know. The car chase over the train is actually like pretty hard to watch, because not because it's like tense or anything, but because it's really corny and really gay. I can't hide. My least favorite part, and this might be the techie in me speaking, as always, but my least favorite part is when Harry's dangling out of the car and Ron tries to grab him, and his hands are all sweaty. Like, as a techie, or this might be autistic actually, I just hate having shit on my hands. I hate my hands being like sweaty. I hate my hands being... Oh, hang on, actually, speaking of... I wanted to put those back on. I like it. They fit the crackhead aesthetic very well. Yeah, I hate having things over my hands, so whenever I think of that scene, all I can think of is Ron's gross fucking hands. And the chase is really fucking boring too. Like, even if you haven't read the book, you know where it's fucking going. They're gonna get on the train tracks, they're gonna look behind them, and this train's gonna be there. Oh, they're gonna freak out for a bit. Oh, there's a bit of turmoil, Harry fell. Oh, grab my sweaty hand. I'd rather die. Oh, everything's fine. Oh, yeah, okay, well, let's just go to Hogwarts. Yay. It's too simple to just land correctly. Let's just hit the fucking tree. That'll kill us instead. And all that happens. I do like Snape yelling at them, though, for breaking the statute of secrecy. I hate the Mandrake No, you know what? I'm slowly realizing that I only like bits and pieces of Chamber of Secrets. Maybe that's why I hate it overall, because only bits of it are good. And then the rest of it is just garbage. I hate the Mandrake scene. I know it's just there to be like, Look, mandrakes are a thing. How about this? And I know the herbology class was in the book. I don't care. How about just, like, not including that? And then later, just being like, oh, how do we cure that? Oh, just mandrake. Because it doesn't matter. I don't know. Like, it's not pointless, but I hate watching it. The unironically Lockhart's class with the DADA class, the Pixies, is more entertaining than the herbology class. Oh right, there was that bit where Malfoy like yelled oh, for fuck's sake. I'm not the only one to complain about this, but I directly will. That thing about like Hermione stealing lines from characters to make herself look good and to make other characters look worse. That happens in Chamber of Secrets when Harry didn't know what a mudblood was in Hagrid's hut. So, in the book, Ron explains to Harry what a mudblood is because Ron is a member of a pureblood wizard family, so of course he's heard the slurs before. He knows Harry was raised by Muggles, so of course he's never heard it. And Hermione was raised by Muggles, so she's never fucking heard it before too. She doesn't know what it fucking means. She either doesn't know what it means, or it doesn't matter, she's just aware of what it means. It's like, Hermione shouldn't... I know she's well read, but like, how many books are just like, use this slur for this group of person? If you hate this group of minorities, say this word. It's like, there's not... And she was raised by Muggles, so she's not been, even if she does know what the word means, she has not been exposed to it. She's not been exposed to, like, the treatment that Muggleborns experience, because she's been raised by fucking Muggles. So not only does it not make sense for her to know what it means, but to be so fucking drastically affected by it, like, to the point, like, of near tears, makes no fucking sense. It makes way more sense for Ron to be the one to understand all that, and to explain it, which he does in the book. But no, we gotta take Ron's good moments, and give them to Hermione, give Ron barfing slugs, make him a fucking moron, and make Hermione perfect. God, I hate movies sometimes. Chasing around the basilisk because it's like roaming around through the pipes and shit, and it's like, you know, when you don't know why he can hear the basilisk, it's really fucking annoying. No, it's both, actually. If you don't know why it's happening, you just zone out. It's like, I don't... What is this scene doing? Well, what's Harry doing? He's listening to the wall. What's the wall saying? Kill, 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 kill. Okay, that's useful. And then if you do know, it's just like, I don't need to see this. I know it's a basilisk. Skip, fuck off, fuck off. I don't care. Shut up. I know. It's like, I don't get, it's a waste of my fucking time. That's what it is. Oh yeah, and then he finds the cat, right? He finds Miss Norris, strung up or whatever, and the writing on the wall. And all the three of them stumble across, so I think Ron had detention or something. Hermione had like an extra study period, and Harry was doing detention with Lockhart, like doing all the fan mail and shit. So each of them had an alibi for being out. Class just ended, obviously, because there's a large influx of them moving out. And the three of them are just standing there like looking at the writing, and everyone's first instinctual reaction is, they're the ones that did it. Like, what? Like, no? Like, am I not allowed to just wander outside, see something horrific or, like, weird, and just stare at it for a bit and just be like, what the fuck is this? And then if someone walks by and just sees me standing there, like, observing something weird, they're just like, oh, you did that! And it's like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? No! The fuck? What's your evidence? I hate it. Every single time I fucking see that sequence, I hate it. I like how Snape defends them. Even though he does follow it up with, like, it is suspicious though, where were you? And it's like, Harry, at the time, interprets it as, like, an asshole thing to do, you know? To be like, you know what? You could just be at the wrong place at the wrong time. But where were you? And Harry acts like, oh, this oh, this is dumb, this is unnecessary. It's like Snape's asking like reasonable things. And then he did tell him the truth, and then Snape just let off, like, immediately. He's like, okay, fine, you have an alibi, you didn't do it. Like, immediately. But Harry was just like, fuck you, Snape. It's like, sometimes Harry just unreasonably hates him, but I have to also remember that book Snape is like 1,000,000 times worse than movie Snape.
It's just strange.
Do you think I should have told them? Dumbledore and the others, I mean.
Are you mad?
She's right, you know.
She's right, you know.
Transforming animals into water goblets.
This is the bit. Oh, I remember. They like turn the animals into goblets, and then Hermione's like, "Could you tell us about the Chamber of Secrets?" And McGonagall's like, "Yeah, Salazar was a fucking filthy cunt, and he didn't really like anyone, so he just left like a giant snake here. But we've looked. We haven't found a snake. Can confirm no snake." This movie's so like, when earlier Philosopher's Stone, right? Whenever there's downtime, or like whenever there's a bit that you're not particularly interested in, it's always over, right? In like a bit, like in a few seconds, like under a minute, basically. But Chamber of Secrets has entire fucking scenes that are just boring, and I fucking hate it. Do you know what I like about something I like about Philosopher's Stone Chamber of Secrets is that Harry is extremely quick to be like, this person is mean to me, therefore they're the guy doing it. Like, in a child's mind, there is no grey. It's just like, this person's kind of an arsehole to me, that means he's the bad guy in Philosopher's Stone, because he thought Snape was the guy trying to steal the stone. It's like, no, he's just an arsehole to you. And then in this, it's like, oh, Malfoy's the heir of Slytherin, and it's like, no, he's not. You're just being like, he's mean to me, therefore he's the heir of Slytherin. It's like, but they're kids. That's how kids think. It makes sense. I'm alright with it. It's still dumb though. Quidditch match? I don't remember a Quidditch match. Oh no, I do. This is the Quidditch match where Harry... Right, the Bludger. The Quidditch match with the Bludger, the rogue Bludger trying to kill Harry, is like serviceable. There's just... Maybe my standards are so high from Philosopher's Stone. That makes sense, actually. Oh, the duel. The duel's really cool. No, actually, no. Do you know what's really cool? Is Snape kicking the absolute fucking shit out of Lockhart with the Expelliarmus charm. The disarming charm. Is it a charm? I forgot. Snape just flooring Lockhart with Expelliarmus. That part's great. Harry and Malfoy dueling is really, really fucking bad. Like, really, like, I hate it. Like, I hate it. I also hate the end with the snake and Harry talking to it. And then everyone getting freaked out. I know it happened in the book. I said it before. I just don't like Chamber of Secrets. It's just bad. I think, personally. Some people disagree. I don't care. I hate it. This isn't about you. Ron and Hermione later being like, you spoke Parseltongue, and then them figuring out it's like, oh, those are the... It took them way too long to realize that. The head of Slytherin House is a fucking snake, for fuck's sake. Like, I mean, Hermione figured it out eventually.
I don't know.
The only good thing about that duel, besides Lockhart versus Snape, is Harry discovers he can speak Parseltongue, which is really useful. Well, no, he didn't just discover it because he knew he could speak to snakes from Philosopher's Stone. So you know what? No, there was no. Well, I mean, other people learned he could speak Parseltongue, which is the only descendants of Slytherin speak Parseltongue. Like it's not just rare; it's hereditary. You have to be related to Salazar Slytherin to speak Parseltongue, which is why, when Voldemort's Horcrux is destroyed in Harry, well, the piece of his soul is destroyed in Harry, he can't speak Parseltongue anymore. After the piece is gone. Only Voldemort could speak Parseltongue because he's a Salazar Slytherin's descendant, so... Headless Nick and, like, some other kid got blasted by the Basilisk, and then and then he was blamed well, he's not being blamed for it, he just got taken to Dumbledore's office for it. Holy fuck, I hate this movie. No, I was wrong. Why did I... Like, before, I know I said, it's like, I need notes to keep track of Philosopher's Stone. I could still recite, like, Philosopher's Stone from start to finish, like, without notes. Vaguely enough. I needed to turn on Chamber of Secrets in order to remember it, because it's just fucking boring. Yeah. Hagrid comes in because he's like, I was accused of it before, then Harry gives him the same. Holy shit. Christmas comes. Yeah, Crabbe and Goyle get sleeped, so that they can polyjuice potion into him, so that they can go to the dungeon and just waste my fucking time brewing a potion that takes a month and is illegal. I know I just complimented it by saying, like, it makes sense that kids just automatically assume that the person being meanest to them is evil and probably the person responsible for their I get that, but Malfoy is not the fucking heir of Slytherin. It's a waste of my fucking time. I just don't like Chamber of Secrets. Tom Riddle's diary sequence is really fun. Hagrid being sent to Azkaban is rough as fuck, and he doesn't deserve that. Dumbledore sees through the invisibility cloak at one point. That's meme. And then Hagrid's like, oh, someone needs to feed the dog. And then they go into the Forbidden Forest to get the spiders. The fucking... No, they don't get... They go into the Forbidden Forest, talk to the spider. Oh, I forgot that the car became feral and alive and now lives in the forest. Aragog... So, Aragog... Why did... Well, I know why Hagrid did it, because he thinks Aragog is harmless, but... It's fine. It's fine. I actually kind of like the spider bit. A little bit. I like it a bit more than the rest of the movie. Harry only learnt the spider spell from Tom. That spell is movie exclusive, and just to give Harry a laser beam to use, by the fucking way. He doesn't learn in the book. I forgot how he fights the spider off in the book. Hermione got frozen. Holy fuck. I don't care. I like Prisoner of Azkaban because Prisoner of Azkaban isn't just Voldemort tries to come back to life. Number 3. It's its own isolated story that has its own stakes and adds a new character that is very important to Harry's life and to his past, and giving him that motivation that it's like, oh, this guy, like, betrayed my parents or whatever, I have to fucking find and kill him, is smart to lead into, like, oh, actually, I should love this guy. But, like, Philosopher's Stone was like, Voldemort's trying to get a body, number 1, with the elixir of life, and it's like, yeah, alright, you're allowed to get away with that. And then Chamber of Secrets is, Voldemort's trying to get a body with Ginny. And then it's like, okay... Also, there's a giant fucking cartoon horror movie monster that if it fucking looks at you, you die instantly. What? The fuck? Sorry? What? I had a nap. I think I missed that. And it's like... God, I don't fucking care. The whole sequence, right? Do you know what the worst part is? Is in Philosopher's Stone, like, the second they start the descent to find the stone, it's interesting the whole way. And it's entertaining, but in Chamber of Secrets, like, the second they enter the Chamber of Secrets, it's meant to start getting better, and it just gets fucking worse. The pipe bit, and then they find, like, the shedded skin, and then the cave in, and then Harry goes forward and he finds Ginny, and then... Oh, well, actually, no, the bit where Tom introduces himself and does all that is cool, but the second the Basilisk is introduced, I don't fucking care, man. And then I forgot... What happens after... Well, I remember he kills the Basilisk and then Fawkes cries on him. And then they fly away because Phoenixes have super strength, by the way. The improvised kick scene with Jason Isaacs. So, in Dumbledore's office, when Lucius Malfoy leaves and he kicks Dobby down the stairs, that was actually improvised by Jason Isaacs. So, like... But because it was improvised and it wasn't planned, everyone thought he tripped. So the director called a cut, and they're like, "Are you all right? Do you need a second?" And Jason's like, "No, I kicked Dobby down the stairs," And the dude's like, fuck, that's brilliant, actually. Let's do that instead. I don't want to do the walk out of room nonsense. I want you to kick the slave down the stairs. That's funny. And then Harry gives... Lucius gives Dobby the sock. Dobby is free. Lucius straight up is going to use Avada Kedavra on Harry. And then Dobby is like, no you, because house elf magic is like 12 billion times stronger than wizard magic for some fucking reason. And then Harry's like, don't save my life again. And then Dobby breaks that promise by helping him in Deathly Hallows and then dying. Hagrid comes back from Azkaban. Is that the end? Yeah, that's the end. Okay, so like the only redeeming factor about Chamber of Secrets is that it's got Richard Harris in it. And that's it.